And here we are, guys, to the finals of the $10,000 International Smite tournament hosted at Pax. Now, the final teams are RooT Gaming and Curse Gaming. They've fought so hard to get here. RooT Gaming getting knocked into the losers bracket by Curse. Now, one thing to note, Curse, seeing as RooT Gaming were beaten by Curse in the winners brackets, Curse are now one game in aggregate. So that means they're a game ahead. So even though this is the first match of the finals, Curse Gaming are one game up over RooT. Now, for the team comps, we've got Guan Yu, Hades, Artemis, Poseidon, and Hercules for RooT Gaming. And for, let's have a look, Curse, we have Freya, Ymir, Loki, Alquan, and Sobek. Now, everyone just kind of getting around their damage buffs. Now, looking at Freya moving around at 2x speed is kind of funny. Now, RooT Gaming are opting not to go for their damage buff first. They're going to stick with what looks like just a blue buff on the left-hand side. So just one buff for the left side, even though it looks like Ymir and Loki are going to go for the mini XP buff and then movement speed buff. Hades and Hercules are going for movement and cooldown reduction, so they're going to get the two camps in. Will Freya and Sobek go for their blue buff? Yeah, they do. Because I'm looking at the minimap there and I've actually got them in first person view. So yeah, every team's fought so hard to get here. We've had some exceptional matches and it really is going to be a slog to the death out of these lot. Now, Freya, Pompon's going his usual Freya build, Vampiric Shroud and Death Toll, just for that really large sustain. With also the mana. The mana's going to keep him going really well. So they've pretty much supercharged that Freya on Pompon. Hades coming in for a dive on Freya. Flick from Sobek up. Hercules does push back Freya as well. But look, coming off worse in that engagement was RooT Gaming, as they've lost most of their health. And then there's the two coming out from Pompon there. In the left-hand lane, Curse are being pushed under their tower again. Ymir and Zatman. Is it Sparks? Sparks and Zatman are being kept under there quite well. Artemis with the blue buff. Really exceptional to keep it on her because she will burn through mana so fast. Most ADs do burn through their mana quite quickly. Zatman taking another load of damage from Artemis's free rain of arrows. So keeping him back there. Even though he has the movement speed buff, he just really can't get in there to actually do anything. The Sparks wall coming out there to hold the creep wave out from under the tower a little bit longer. Still losing a bit of XP and gold from that though, but at least now they can push 3 traps down by Xing just to be more an annoyance. Another free landing onto Zatman, just keeping him whittled down there so he doesn't become too much of a problem, keeping him back. We all know once he hits like level 5, level 6, he's going to start being a major problem from Artemis. Old Xing there. Now in the mid, we've got Poseidon being played by Jerby. And the best on Alquan. Now, Jerby going back quite early, actually. Oh, no, he's decided not to. He's decided to stay with the fight and carry on. And in the right hand, Hades going in for another dive. Spin coming out from Sobek onto Lars. Now, Hades is free going out onto Pompon. Now, is Pompon going to turn around and do a quick banish? He is probably not going to be silenced just yet. Nothing really kind of going on. There's the banish. He does miss the banish. So, there was a nice little poke there from RooT onto Curse. Kind of need to be a little, well, not a little careful. They've got enough sustain to kind of hold on. Everyone's just going to be poking quite early on. Now, Lars is in a bit of a predicament. He's got no more potions left. The same with Loki on Curse. They've used them all quite early as they've been taking quite a bit of damage. But then again, Loki has managed to, or Zatman on Loki has got his beads and aegis, so he is a bit ahead on items and hasn't really kind of wasted a lot there, but he is being pushed under the tower. On the other end, Lars and Allied are keeping Pompon and Shadow under the tower, so it's kind of like, what do you take? Do you take the potions first on so you can have some more sustain in the lane, or do you take the items early on so if anything does, if the crap does hit the fan basically, you've got some abilities to save your ass. Now, some 2 coming out from Freya. Not much. They're going to be a pluck from Sobek coming out there. No, just kind of keep going on. Get the level 5. They're both at level 5 now. Nobody's decided to back. Everybody's keeping going. Kind of like the early lane phase. Sometimes a lot goes on, sometimes it doesn't. Now, Poseidon has gone back. And on the left-hand side, there's a lot of action going on. Ymir's using his ult. Guan Yu's using his ult on top of Ymir. Loki comes out onto Artemis. Was obviously stealthed there. He was a sickening strike. Now, the third shot from Guan Yu has come down onto Sparks. Sparks caught by a trap, but Artemis is in a big trouble now. Loki should be able to finish her off before she finished off Sparks. And 3 coming out here. No, she takes out Sparks as well, but she will go down to Loki. And Loki, Zapman does even that up to a 1-1 trade. But first blood does go to RooT Gaming. A little brain fart there. But yeah, now, will Matty Pocket get away from this? Zapman is looking at it, but there's a full creep wave now, so he does have to back out a little bit there. So, first blood there for RooT Gaming. Curse did manage to even that up, though, so it wasn't an utter loss. So, everyone's keeping on, right? Now, Zapman going into the jungle. Probably going to pick up some buffs before he backs out. Now, in the middle lane, just creep killing basically going on here. Not too much happening. Now, on the right lane, they took out Hades, well, Lars and Allied did take out the movement speed buff, so they took the movement speed buff before they backed, so Hercules would get back into lane a lot quicker. Now probably going for the cooldown reduction. Yes, they do. Quickly going in there, just getting out of the way. And in the right, Pompon and Shadow are going for the damage buff. I'll get the right button on that. Freya does take away with the damage buff there. So everyone's just kind of come out of lane, got their buffs, now heading back into lane again. Just to kind of carry on. Let's just speed it up a little bit. Now, was that a ward coming out from Ymir? So Curse Gaming have put like the first ward out of the game onto the Gold Fury just to make sure that nothing sneaky happens in the next 3 minutes or so. Shing has seen Sparks and is deciding to back out. Will there be a wall coming up? There's no wall that manages to get her there. Guan, she has to be a little bit careful because of Guan Yu coming back up here. Poke coming in there from Sobek. Flings up Lars after a beautiful banish by Pom-Pom. Pom-Pom gets pushed back by Lars and Hades coming out there. Hades, Hercules ults onto Freya and Sobek, but Freya does jump into the air using hers. Aegis Amulet comes out from Lars and a heal trying to desperately come out there from Allied there. Now, Sobek should be able to catch Lars, but no, Hades' ult comes in there, catches him in place. Lars is in a big bit of trouble now, caught on the wrong side of the creeps. And yeah, Pom-Pom takes him down, so that's the second kill for Curse Gaming. Hades there, needs to kind of back out. He's in a little bit of a sticky situation. Shadow is moving out the way. And 2's coming out from Pom-Pom there, just to kind of keep him back. Now, we see a lot of movement coming on. Alquan, the best, is coming left. He's going to get a beautiful ult. Hits Matty Pocket. Then gets his squall onto Shing. Shing goes down to... bloody hell, it was a stun from Ymir and an auto attack from Alquan. Also, Loki gets a hit onto Matty Pocket. Matty Pocket just getting under his tower. So, Guan Yu using his ultimate onto Ymir. Now, he's in a bad situation here, as all the creeps are taking all the attacks from the tower. Zapman can come in here and just finish him off quickly with a few auto attacks. The squall coming out from the best, missing completely, but they secure another kill. Kraken coming out here. Poseidon rotated right in the meantime. Let's just bring it back, actually. We want to see the whole fight, don't we? So, Jerby here, just sticking back. Kraken coming out into the middle. Pom-Pom taking serious amount of damage, being held down now by Whirlpool. Will get away with that one a little bit. Few auto attacks coming out from Poseidon. One more needed just to finish him off. Sobek just kind of trying to block the route out there, so Poseidon can't catch him. Pom-Pom will get away with this one, actually. Luckily enough, look at the little digit health he's got. How much health does he actually have? I can't see. It doesn't tell me. But yeah, Pom-Pom extremely lucky there. The Whirlpool kind of holding him in combination with the Kraken. I don't think Poseidon's one landed too well. So they managed to get away with that one and not lose too many deaths. Now, Curse are running ahead with the kills at the moment. 4-1. The best Alquan is coming right, just so the tower doesn't get pushed. And Sobek has headed middle just for a little bit. Don't want to let any tower take any damage. The only people that have had any tower damage taken so far are RooT Gaming. Just a little bit in the middle and a little bit on the right lane. Now, we see Artemis and Artemis and Matt Pocket go in centre middle lane for the damage buff, while Poseidon's duking a little bit with Sobek, and they decide they're going to come middle as well. Xing just having a little look, not doing too much though, as obviously it's Sobek. It's quite tanky. You don't want to mess around too much. Ymir is coming in from the right. And on the right-hand lane, we can't miss out. Freya is getting dove on by Hades. Hades does silence there. Lars is coming out of his auto attacks onto Pompon. Now, Pompon is just pretty much on the run. Gets a beautiful banish off onto Lars. And then uses her ultimate to get out of Hades' ult there. Just kind of saving her. Now, at this meantime, Sobek and Ymir were rotating right to help her out. And RooT Gaming do know this. Hannah backed out quite nicely. Obviously, with the ward coverage there, they would have seen that happen. And Loki does take out the ward that was down for RooT Gaming by the Fire Giant. And everyone kind of in the jungle round here on the right there. Artemis, though, going to be getting caught out by Loki. Decoy and trap down. Beautiful trap down there by Xing. Keep Loki from catching up with him. Now, Xing will back out there just to be a bit safe. Now, Hercules coming in, trying to get the steal on the buff. Not quite happening, just a little bit too late. It's worth a shot sometimes, though, isn't it? You always hear the buffs going on, so you want to throw some ability in there. I know I've done it a few times, like on Anubis, throw the grasping hands into the buff and then manage to steal it. Or even on Artemis, rain of arrows on top. Now Loki going middle onto... No, just going straight through, actually. Seeing as Poseidon is stuck under the tower, old Jerby there, it was going to be a really bad situation for him to actually be able to do anything. So, early on, we were 10 minutes in. Curse are about 1.5k gold ahead, 3 kills ahead. Not really too much. Still anybody's game. Always anybody's game after about the 10 minutes. There's not really high-end. High-end players don't let the games fall away too fast like this unless something seriously goes wrong. Lars is just left with Shadow on the right-hand side. They're just going to kind of keep farming, keep farming. That's the main way they got to do this. Artemis is going for, just stopped at level 2 boots and going for a level 2 executioner. Wants that extra attack speed and penetration to come out there. An early executioner does take the enemy by surprise sometimes. I remember when I used to play on ranked sometimes, I would come out with an executioner first. Then early on the dive would come out. Now Artemis getting dove on by... I can't remember his name now. Zapman, I've all blacked out. Misstunned by Ymir. Artemis does get away, but she does get walled under the tower. Now, Sparks was taking the tower for a little bit, so Zapman could have gone in there and taken away the aggro there and, well, actually managed to get Xing, but decided to back out there. You want to play a bit safe. He didn't have any mana, so he probably wouldn't be able to get too much away with that. Hades chasing down Sobek here, just as he's taking out the wards. They're all just kind of like counter-warding each other, and the ward goes back down. Now, whose wards are that? That is RooT Gaming's wards. So, yeah, it takes out one, takes out another one. But it's just like the constant meta game. Well, not a meta game. It's like a mini game. Think of like Bejeweled in Facebook or something like that. Or you're playing a game and it's got like a Bejeweled game in there as well. Hades goes into Pompon. Pompon lifts up Allied straight away as he comes in. That's the one thing with jumps and leaps and all that lot. Apart from Barkus, anyone that uses a Jeep, you can... a leap, you can pretty much predict where they're going to go straight away. Zapman coming in here. Sobek gets the grip by on to Lars. Lars takes a lot of damage from Zapman. Zapman getting caught in there by Allied's ultimate ability. Zapman, Allied is jumping out straight onto Shadow's ultimate there. Uses his Aegis Amulet to get away with that one. Aquan the best has come out to rotated right as well. Pompon's ult onto Allied. Allied's just going down. So much damage there from the tornadoes, the Zapman, and the Freya ult. Now, Lars did miss the boulder. It was just a little bit too far there to hit the best. But Poseidon now rotating right. Was there anything coming out? He might have been spotted. Should have been spotted now by Shadow. Right hand tower does go down for RooT. So Cursor up a tower and 4 kills. That's put him into like a 3k gold lead now, which is really good for everybody. Now, Jerby's going for a Warlock Sash. Ultimate comes out from the best. Doesn't land anywhere. I think he was more just kind of getting rid of the creeps. May have, if he'd have hit Lars with that, would have probably chucked down the tornado. Mid lane as well. Guan Yu getting taken down quite a lot. Ultimate's out onto Zapman. Zapman aegis that stun, so didn't take too much damage there. And then Pompon didn't really do much. Was obviously stopping Jerby coming in there. But didn't manage to land that banish. Now, Whirlpool and Kraken comes out there. Zapman takes loads of damage. Sparks takes a little bit there. Now, Xing not fast enough to manage to capitalise on that. Obviously, he was too far away. There's no movement speed buff. And, well, as we all know, Artemis just can't run any faster without anything. She needs sprint and to crack on. So, she's backed out quite quickly and going for the damage buff. In the meantime, Hades and Poseidon are staying middle against Freya. Freya just trying to keep the minions back, using her 2, using her 1. Alquan, the best, has returned middle to kind of help out here. Freya's now going to back out. So everyone's kind of like backed. Not doing too much. Warded. Gold Fury is warded up quite well. Sparks goes around there and counter wards all the RooT Gaming's wards by the Gold Fury. Then, obviously, Xing comes back and sorts that one back out again. Wants to keep the wards going and gets spotted coming in by Sparks. Sparks is rotating around, trying to get behind him. Maybe get like a wall stun off. They are going for a tower dive. Wall coming out successfully. Aegis the stun, brilliant. Zapman comes in. I'm not sure if he used his ultimate on that one. Yes, he did actually. Ymir's ult comes out. Xing uses sprint to get out of the way, and they decide to let her go. Rain of Arrows coming down onto Zapman. Freya coming in as well, using her ult straight away onto Xing. Xing's going to get hit by this Alquan ult. No, he doesn't. Behind the tower, just misses. He's in a lot of trouble now. Needs to keep running. Then just takes a load of auto attacks. And there wasn't anything Xing can kind of do there, as he was a 4v1 under his tower and just taking loads of damage from every source. Poseidon coming around just to help out. And then meanwhile, everyone's kind of going for the blue buff, protecting that. Zapman's going to take that. Will Freya get a banish off Allied? Allied's in, gonna hold onto that. There's no minions there to kind of catch. Holds Pompon in place. Guan Yu's coming from the right. Jerby coming in as well. Hasn't dropped any abilities yet. Not quite sure what he's looking at. Gets kind of like walled off. Allied's now walled off. Kraken comes out onto Zapman. That was a beautiful Kraken. Well held. And now you can see why he was holding off on the abilities. The Kraken Whirlpool onto Zapman. Finishes that off lovely. Guan Yu ults onto Sparks. But Sparks ages that. And in the middle the whole time we've got Hercules onto the best. Just standing in the tornadoes. Taking a lot of damage from the tornadoes actually. With his damage buff there. Gets banished up by Freya. And then, did he Aegis out of that afterwards? Then takes a lot of damage from Sparks and Sobek. And backs off. Sparks drops a defensive wall just to kind of stop any onslaught from Poseidon. Guan Yu, Matty Pocket there being spun out by Sobek. Just trying to back out and try and keep himself safe. Now, a thing to note here is Curse haven't dropped a game this whole tournament. They've played really well and they're just cracking on through this. Now, the teams that these players have had to beat, let's look at it. We've got, for RooT, they've beat Varsity City, Reason Gaming and Copenhagen Wolves, all to get into this final spot in the finals. Now, Curse Gaming, they have beat My Electric, Copenhagen Wolves, RooT Gaming that already once been a 2-0 defeat, and now they're at RooT Gaming again. So like I say at the start, there was a bit of an aggregate going on. I don't quite know how they decided this. Sometimes it's fair enough they beat them, but then I would have liked to have seen a full a best of 5 match without any aggregate going on. Now, Alquan the best getting stuck up there by Guan Yu. Guan Yu having a little look. Sparks is coming in to kind of help out. And now, the follow doesn't work. Now, I'm still getting used. Alcorn's ult comes in there to defend the tower. Manages to get 2. I wasn't quite sure if it got Lars. Lars kind of did flick out there quite a bit. I think he just used his one, used his strike to get out there. Guan Yu goes straight onto the best. Now using his 3. Sobek going round. Pom Pom coming in here with the charged blade as well. Using his 2. Guan Yu being walled and spiked. Ultimate coming out of here by Shadow to slow down Matty Pocket. Now Guan Yu Matty Pocket is ulting onto Ymir again. He loves ulting Ymir. And now I do hear, here comes Zapman onto Poseidon. Poseidon taking a serious amount of damage. HiRez ulting to try and keep Zapman away from Jerby. Now, Guan Yu charges onto Zapman. Now, Lars, can he get the extra few hits? No, he doesn't. Kraken is coming out there for Poseidon. Hey, Zapman did ages before Lars could get the few hits. Now, a few auto attacks coming out there from Allied to kind of trying to take down that Zapman, but Zapman's just going away. Maybe if he'd have dove onto Zapman, would have got that one. Ymir's ult come out as well during that time, but no one was really taking any damage. Lars gets that excellent boulder out onto Sparks, taking loads of damage there. I only managed to hit him the once, so there was no ricochet off the wall as it went down to the jungle view. So Curse are kind of in a bad spot here. They really need to back out. They're all so low health, apart from obviously Pom Pom there, Pom Pom, Lars, and Xing. Apart from that, everyone else has backed out. Xing just pushing forward, using his 2 to push the tower down quite quickly. Pom Pom trying to fight back against this. Xing going for the damage buff. Pom Pom with the movement speed buff. It's really quite nice on him. Just keeps running. And also with the extra attack speed there, gets out a few Mark 2s. Now we have, looks like there's going to be a Curse Gold Fury coming out here. Matty Pocket has seen this. Gold Fury's going down like no tomorrow. Look at that, just go. There's a tiny little bit. So Curse get a pretty much uncontested Gold Fury there. Hercules Lars does get the flick up. Sobek does chase after there, but the Allied pushes him away. Defensive wall comes out from Curse Gaming. As they know they've already got the Gold Fury, they don't need to stay there and contest it anymore. Everyone's backing out to kind of keep their presence, keep their farm going. If you're ahead, try and stay ahead. Don't make any silly mistakes and fall behind. And Curse are still yet to lose a tower. Even though RooT Gaming have only lost 1, Curse is still that 1 tower ahead. Now Poseidon is going for reinforced boots. Obviously he's kind of want that cooldown reduction, that just a little bit of tankiness. He's going a pretty, not a full tanky kind of build, but with Warlock Sash and reinforced boots, you use that mainly to take on a bit more, just take a bit more damage from everybody. Now Guan Yu's going for the Boots of the Magi. Obviously he wants that magic penetration, which I don't know which patch that come in actually. That never used to really be there. That was just mana, magical power, and just movement speed. But they've added the magic pen, so that obviously brings that item into a bit more light. People like to use that a bit more as they're going to knock out a bit more damage. Also going for Void Stone, as no one else on his team is going for that yet, so it'll help synergize a little bit more with Hades and Poseidon, helping them cause a little bit more damage. Shadow chasing off Guan Yu and Artemis there on Xing. Lars in a little. Now I don't quite know why that wall went out. That wall from Shadow kind of split everybody off. Well, not Shadow, it was. I don't really know now actually. Wall from Ymir kind of splitting off Curse into 2 a little bit. Lars in the jungle though, and there's probably going to be a tower dive here. Satman goes for Lars, does take a little bit of damage from his 2. Spin coming out from Shadow as well to try and keep Allied away. Lars going for Zatman going for Lars full on here. Lars is just trying to run out of this one, get out of there. Pom Pom in the meantime is ulting onto Xing. She's trying to cause so much damage onto Xing as much as possible. Zatman backing out onto Allied. In the meantime, Xing gets walled off by Sparks, takes a stun. Poseidon drops a Kraken and a Whirlpool underneath Sparks, just trying to get that Ymir out of the way. Alcorn ult from the best comes in there and finishes off Artemis. Now Xing's in a bit of trouble here, taking a lot of damage from Hades' ult, even though while he was under the Aegis was going to come out of that and did die. And then Lars is in a little bit of trouble, Gets taken out by Sobek's ult as well. Matty Pocket in a lot of trouble as well. Gets picked up by Sobek, thrown back into the best. Now, can the best get... well, just the creep waves are going to take him down here pretty much. Now, Allied being taken down by Zatman. Zatman should finish this off. Does finish him off. Poseidon gets knocked into the air. Zatman is taking the tower hits, but is willing to stay in there and take a few more hits to get Jerby. Jerby did use Aegis during that, and an early deicide coming out from Curse Gaming with an exceptional team play there. Everyone just, even though they peeled off, Zatman went off after Hercules just to keep him out of the way. Hercules come back here. Alquan, the best, managed to take out Xing. Xing got focused quite a lot. Now, I'm seeing from RooT Gaming, they're focusing on Ymir quite a bit. Like Matty Pockets, I think he's used his ultimate onto Ymir. Who's actually playing Ymir? Jerby. Not Jerby. Where is it? I'm looking at the wrong side. Sparks. Sparks. And I need to put the speed back. Using Guan Yu's ultimate onto Sparks. I've seen it at least 3-4 times now. You thought maybe he's going to put it on somebody else, but we all know once you use Guan Yu's ult, if nothing's in range, you go for the most available target. Curse are going to take an easy, uncontested fire giant here whilst we're at it. Zatman taking. I always love this fire pool, causes so much damage. Now Zatman couldn't take another fire. Now, is he going to go down? Oh, has to use his ultimate to get out of there. The fire giant obviously wanted to aggro in first and gets out of there with just the smidgest little bit of health. If he'd have delayed that slightly, or maybe got the angle wrong on his ult, because we all know this, as well, a few players will know this as well. If you're trying to jump over a wall, you need to get that the target area into a bit of a clear area, because if you try and jump with the indicator on a wall, it won't let you jump. So he had to get that perfect, otherwise one more hit and he would have gone down. Wall coverage from Curse is pretty much mostly centre. The RooT Gaming have round the side, and pretty much all Curse now are going left. I think there's going to be like some counter warding going out there from Sparks. Sparks goes, takes that ward from the Gold Fury. Will be another one coming out here. Yeah, they're just taking down the Artemis trap. That was the main ward on that side. Left tower is going to go down for RooT Gaming. RooT Gaming are kind of a bit on the defensive now. There's the fire giant to contest with, as well as everybody else. Now, how's the levels looking? Levels are kind of running away. The best is at level 19, so he's 3 levels ahead of Jerby there on Poseidon, and at least 5 levels ahead of most other people, apart from like Matty Pocket, that's level 15. Now, Guan Yu's finished his Voidstone. Artemis has finished Executioner. Lars has finished his, on Hercules has finished his Void Blade. So everyone's kind of finished their level 2 items, getting onto level 3. Now, Curse are onto their 4th item, as you can see. Now, the item made out for Freya, Demonic Grip. Now, my overlay might cut out the plus 30 physical power here, but also plus 30 physical power and plus 20% attack speed. Now, this item is solely for Freya, as it reduces his magical protection. So later on we might see some more. Whoa, we got little action going on to Lars here. Zatman comes in there straight away. I want to see that again, even though I did turn around to kind of see just about what's going on. My old mouse clicks just was a bit late. He's just going full onto him. Misses the knock up, stealths in straight onto Lars. Lars does push him back under the tower, but using his ult onto Lars, taking so much damage. Now, Loki's got his Void Blade and the penetration. Xing coming out there. Was there I don't quite know. Maybe it hit the wall, but Xing must have used his beads to help that one. Alquan's ult coming out there just to kind of keep everyone back. Zatman needing to get out of the way. Shadow missing the pluck onto Allied there as well. If you're both use your jumps or your gap closers, they're pretty much the same distance. So Middle Phoenix does go down for RooT Gaming. RooT Gaming are now in a really sticky situation. 10k gold behind, 10 kills behind. Come on, boys. We like the underdogs. Defensive wall coming out there by Sparks, stopping off Guan Yu and Allied there. Quite nice. Pompon onto Allied is ulting, holding in there Sparks and Shadow, but getting focused so heavily. Matty Pocket did use his ult onto Sparks and Shadow. Didn't take any damage himself, but they're going on. Pompon misses the banish onto Xing. But Shing's going to take... Is she going to take... Yeah, it does take some tornado damage and the squall from the best. Lars is now back up now. Obviously wants to get some farm going. Doesn't want to get fall too far behind. Everyone backing out. Another Gold Fury by Curse. Just hammering on it. Go on, look at this. Just pushing that lead up even more. What is it? It's about 13k gold now ahead. The best is now level 20. Zatman level 18. Pompon level 17. So three players of Curse are equal or higher level than the highest person on RooT Gaming side. Hercules on Lars is going up there to ward up the fire giant. But he's not going to be up for another like minute or so. Now, it's just well, just looking at the builds really. We've got Magi's Blessing and Hide of the Lion on Sobek, so he's like really annoying to all the ADs, all the physical ADs. It's just, they just don't want to touch him basically. Freya, Fertilis is coming out here from Pompon at the end. He likes to moonwalk backwards at full speed. Guan Yu using his ultimate down. Ymir using it. Kraken coming out as well. There's so many ults being burned just for that one player. Well, no, the Kraken's coming out there with loads. I'm getting the sides mixed up now. It's just so many things all coming in there. Allied does hold in Sparks as well. Guan Yu's free going out onto Sobek. Pompon now ults onto Allied. Allied taking low damage. Alquan should finish him off, but it's going to come in there. Who's he going to hit? It's going to hit Matty. No, it does come down and hit Jerby. Jerby's the only one to get hit by that ultimate. Lars is in from behind, pushing in Zatman and Sparks, pushing them a little bit closer to the other guys. Now throws out the boulder, hits two of them, but unfortunately he can't get the ricochet. Is probably going to go down here to Zatman. Does get Zatman really low. Did Shadow take that last hit there from the boulder? I'm not too sure. I don't think he did, but it was so close to actually happening. Whirlpool coming out from Jerby. Banish and stun coming out there, so the stun didn't actually work onto Shing. Shing taking a lot of damage from the tornado. Nothing really more coming out from Pompon. But now Shing's been... Oh, look at that wall. Just misses it. Shing manages to get into the jungle and gets away. But running kind of in a bad direction. But no one is chasing, fortunately enough. Now getting back out of there. Matty Pocket does go down to a Whirlpool Pompon combo there. Now Shing is backing out and does manage to get out safely. RooT Gaming did manage to get a few kills. I think got a few kills. No, I don't know. Completely missing it. There's so much action going on. Sometimes I miss who actually died and who's back. But from what I can see, no one actually died for Curse Gaming on that side. Shing is back. Middle Phoenix has respawned again. God, this gold lead's just getting so far ahead. 14k gold. Pompon just can't finish that Fertilis yet. So close. Deathbringer coming out for Loki. So his damage is just going to go out so much. And a Fire Giant here coming out from Curse. Another completely uncontested. So RooT Gaming haven't been able to contest any of these Gold Furies or Fire Giants during the whole game. It's just... Yeah, I don't even think they see it go down. There's no ward coverage on the right hand side for RooT. More buffs coming out for the RooT side. So we're just having a little look. Tornadoes coming down. Everybody rotating right. Here we go. A bit more action going off. Can he get the pluck? Whirlpool come out by Jerby. No, they decide they just want the tower. We're on board with Shadow at the moment. Dropping down another ward. Come on, Shing. Shing gets lifted up into the air. Whirlpool comes out. Fling does go on to Shing, but Shing dies pretty much before he even hits the floor. Unbelievable damage coming out there by Curse. Middle tower. Middle Phoenix does go down. They're going to go for the right hand side Phoenix as well. Lars doesn't get anybody with that number 2, number 3. No flick up there. Sparks is just standing in the tornado, just looking at him going, come on, come on. You know you want some. They are backing out though. They've got their 2 Phoenixes, playing it safe. Not really too much. Everybody's just kind of looking. Oh, it does stop the Best backing out though. Best is on his own now. So everyone is going to chase him down though. No one on... No, actually, Lars does have a sprint, so we could possibly have tried to chase him down. But it would have been not really in his best interests, even though nobody else would have been able to catch him up. Shing's going for Deathbringer, trying to get it back. Now we see. Let's go on board with someone else, shall we? We're going on board. Let's go on board with Allied. Have a little look. No, he's coming back. Go back to Pompon. Having a little look. Or Zapman. Let's go for Zapman for a bit. Now, Guan Yu is going for the mid-guardian male. Obviously, to slow them auto attacks down if he gets hit with them. But most of the time, it's on the carries, all the auto attacks that they want to take down. Zapman goes in there. Oh, it's onto Shing. Shing just dies so fast from the Tornado Zapman combo. Curse.NA did come out there. Fire Giant. Surrender Vote is coming out now for RooT Gaming. Let's see if they go a bit early. Right hand side Tau. Oh, slow it down a little bit. Right hand side Phoenix does go down. So all three finishes are down. Minotaur is going to get pushed heavily here by Curse. And I just hit the mic. Lars taken out. And there goes the Minotaur down. So Curse still yet to drop a game. Take out RooT in the first match. Now it's all down to Curse. If Curse win the next match, Curse win the tournament and the $5,000 prize pool. I'd love to know that's in pounds. So what's that, about $3.5 grand in pounds? So not so much for us English people, but for the Americans it works out quite nicely there. As you can see from the scoreboard, no one's really landing any kills, and all the assists coming. They did get a few assists. They did gang up here. Two mid-guardian males coming out there for RooT. Not having a chance to get them done. Eye of Retaliation there for Hercules, old Lars there. But it's just so much farm coming out from Curse. Got them ahead and really helped out here. So like everyone here has ages. Everyone there has ages. Sprints. There was no need for sprints on Curse. Was there nobody who could have done with it? No. No, really. Just loads of defensive items here. So we've got Sobek, Ymir. On one team as deadly as it is. Them two are just stun, fling, horrendous. So you got, hey, yeah, well, I'll see you guys all in the next match. I really can't kind of analyse it any further. It was such a good match, and I want to get the next match going anyway. So I'll see you guys in game 2, with RooT being 2 games behind now with aggregate. So it's all, well, they have to win the next match. So I'll see you lot.